Hello everyone, it's Darkfire07. Today we are playing Abzan Ketramos build with Cosmogoyf, and I believe this is the best shell to play Cosmogoyf in Modern by far. It's been already like a month since I posted this build on my X profile, and I did some tweaking, lot of gameplay, and really liked the deck. And we are going to go through one of the 4-1 leagues I had. I played for a trophy match here in this league. I played for a trophy match against a favorable matchup, but lost despite having so much graveyard hate. We will see how it went in the video. But first, let's talk about some of the stuff in this list. So we got Plunge of into Darkness. So this card combos with Cosmogoyf. You can pay any amount of life and then exile that many cards from your library. Put one of them into your hand and make your Cosmogoyf big enough to one-shot your opponent. This can actually kill opponent on turn 3, so it's kind of a combo deck in a way, which you can make your Cosmogoyf just bigger than your opponent life total on their turn 3 and just one-shot them. So this is quite possible, but not a common thing that will happen every game, since we only have 3 Cosmogoyf and 2 Plunge into Darkness. After some gameplay, I settled for 3 Cosmogoyf. Cosmogoyf was very good in a deck, but required some setup. So like a 4 felt too much, because I would draw it in a starting hand too often. But this Cosmogoyf in this deck is a great card. But the thing is, you want to draw it like on turn 4, on turn 5. Sometimes you want to draw it in the starting hand if you have like the combo with Plunge into Darkness, or you're playing against combo deck and really fast deck, so you want to try to one-shot them, something like that. But usually in the mid-range matchups you want to draw this like turn 5, turn 6, where you already have like 10 cards in exile or something like that. But the thing is, the deck plays 4 Relic of Progenitors, which work so well with Ketramos, but now it's not dead without Ketramos. Now it also fuels the Cosmogoyf and works really well with that too. We also got 1 Cling to Dust, Failure, Flicker Wisp as additional way to scam our Overlord, of course. And that's it in the sideboard. Wrath of the Skies, more Thoughtseizes, more pushes, some Artifact Enchantment Hate, Vindicate and Ashiok, which are like irreplaceable in the sideboards of the Ketramos builds. And also in the flex slots of the sideboard, 2 Garok Teagues, which can really win some games. When you're playing against stuff like Belcher, playing against Eldrazi's, playing against Tron, stuff like that, this card can truly be a game breaker. Unfortunately, we can't play like a Clarion Conqueror or cards like that in this build, because we have Relic of Progenitors in our own deck, which is very important for the deck. But got some cool replacements. Tear Asunder, Garok Teague work well in the similar matchups. Okay, so that is it. We can now go to the gameplay. Before that, I want to remind you of my Decktionary profile. And on the Decktionary recently I got a new sideboard guide, the Chocobo Fable Zoo sideboard guide in the Zoo tier. Of course, as always, base tier and Zoo tier are mostly Zoo stuff. In the base tier there's additional sideboard guides like Dimir Frog, Obosh, Ketramos, and sometimes other type of decks as well. But Zoo tier also consists of my large articles on Zoo, these 3, and they hold a lot of pages of my thoughts on Zoo and all matchups that it faces in current Modern. Okay, also separately for that there is Eldrazi tier as well. And okay, so that's it. Link is down below in the video description if you want to check out Decktionary. Okay, we can now go to the gameplay and see how games went. I was very impressed. Only played 2 leagues with this deck, or 3 maybe 3, and I think 2 of them went 4-1, and I'm not sure about the last one, to be honest. Okay, but here we got Plunge into Darkness on turn 2, and we can see how it can be really good with in a Ketramos deck. So we can dig for a land, for example, which enable us to play Ketramos, pay 7 life and immediately slam like a turn 3 Ketramos, which is able to attack. So here I decided not to go for a plunge, but to go for the Overlord of the Bailmerk, hoping to hit that land by naturally drawing on turn 3 and just flicker the Overlord immediately. That would be ideal, but we will see what will happen. Okay, so opponent, unfortunately, here we can see they go for Hedge Maze. This is not good. Hedge Maze on turn 1 means we are probably playing against 3 decks, so it can be Living End, it can be Neoform, or it can be Eldrazi with a blue splash. That I think these are all decks, popular decks that currently play Hedge Maze in their lists, but Hedge Maze not that common. Usually they go for Commercial District. Here in this version they probably play Null Drifter, so they went for Hedge Maze. Okay, so I pay 6 life, I go find a land, play Relic. So again, this way I nicely prepare for next turn, hating on their Emrakul, and I can play the Ketramos, or I can flicker the Overlord. There are definitely a lot of possibilities here for next turn. Okay, so opponent plays another land, goes for Utopia's Sprawl, and they have Emrakul below Labyrinth, but Relic of Progenitus really makes it hard for them to cast Emrakul early. So I'm thinking between two obvious best plays in this situation. I decide to go for a Overlord Scam. This is the bigger clock for my opponent, and this way I'm putting more damage on the field. And I'm getting obviously the value from the Overlord as well. Okay, so I take a Boggart Troller. Boggart Troller is a land in this situation. I already have Ketramos, already have Solitude. I really need a land, so I wanted to go for Troller. In this situation, opponent goes for Kozilek Command, but they can't take Overlord with it. They can make a bunch of Eldrazi spawn tokens and maybe cast some big spell on their next turn. They go for Breeding Pool, and let's see what they have. Okay, they go for a Rumble first, fill their graveyard. Okay, fill their graveyard and then play maybe... Okay, here is Mycospawn with Kicker destroying my black land. Okay, that's fine. They also get Bojuka Bog. Bojuka Bog here takes care of my graveyard. That's fine. I have a Boggart Troller, but now I can't play Ketramos plus Crack the Relic on same turn. This will maybe enable them to play their Emrakul next turn. We will see what happens. I have Solitude for Emrakul. And yeah, I can take their Mycospawn here, draw a card, then get Solitude back with Overlord of the Bailmerk ability. That seems like a good play here. So even if they play Emrakul, I can like end step, just exile Emrakul and see what happens. Okay, so it's opponent turn. They have bunch of mana, and yeah, they go. They put Emrakul back to their hand as expected. Unfortunately, I was not able to crack the Relic last turn, but I will be able to Solitude their Emrakul, and yeah, but the problem is Plunge into Darkness, and I can't do really anything about it. So I should have counted the mana before and maybe play Plunge into Darkness on my turn. That means I would not be able to play anything else. So on my turn, opponent just plays Plunge into Darkness, pays 8 life and gets the kill. Very, very simple. Okay, so here I board in Vindicates, Totsis, Tear Asunder, God of Tiggs, Ashiok. All these cards seem pretty decent against what is my opponent doing. Cosmogoyf can be very good against them. And Gadoktig is a great sideboard card. So I did not have spots for Ashiok, so I'll put that back in the sideboard. Okay, so I have a Vindicate. Vindicate is good against them, not a great hand, but since I'm playing first, it seems kind of keepable. Hopefully they play Utopia Sprawl and I can Vindicate that land. Yeah, so far so good. Here is Cosmogoyf on top, which works well. We can play it on curve. Okay, so opponent goes for Eldrazi Temple and plays Kozilek command, immediately takes care of my Cosmogoyf, but now I can Vindicate their land with Utopia Sprawl, and this is like a big advantage here. And now I can jam the Ketramos, so my opponent only has 2 lands in the field, and here is another Vindicate from the top, excellent draw. So I'm continuing attacking their lands, and I can jam the Ketramos next turn, then start exiling stuff and drawing more cards with Ketramos. Again, they have more lands, which give them double mana. Okay, so actually Plunge into Darkness is pretty solid here. I can pay any amount of life, which I need to pay 6 here, and this can make my Ketramos into attacker next turn. Also gets me a card I need in my hand to continue grinding. Okay, I take Thoughtseize. I wanted to take some big spell from their hand. Let's see what I can do next turn. Here is another Ugin's Labyrinth, and they already have 6 mana. So it seems good to go for Thoughtseize here, take their big 7 mana spell for next turn. Here I also play Bogart Roller, take their graveyard, make my Ketramos into attacker. Also draw a card and yeah, just continue attacking. I have 2 attackers now. This is a great clock. Opponent does not have any colored mana at the moment. So sowing Macrospawn, 2 Kozilek returns in hand, nothing else. My Cosmogoyf is pretty big. Okay, so I jam the Cosmogoyf and pass a turn. Cosmogoyf is 5-6 at the moment, that's quite big. And your opponent does not have a solution for this, so that is game 1. I don't think I want to change anything. Sideboard seems good for this match, and yeah, I'm playing second. It is a one-lander, but the hand is pretty solid. Let's see if I kept this one, I can't remember. I played this league quite a bit ago. Here is Relic of Progenitus. I think it's best to just go for a Surveil on turn 1. I have 2 draws plus a Surveil to try to find a second land. When I find a second land, Plunge into Darkness will easily find me a third one. So that seems pretty solid. Okay, so I need a second land. Opponent goes for Vexing Bubble. Vexing Bubble doesn't do much. Here is a second land I needed. So here I go for, I probably want a green source here. And I go for Thoughtseize. Yeah, next turn is the land they can play their 4 mana Mycospawn or Chrysalis. I thought it's a good idea to go for Thoughtseize at the moment and say Plunge into Darkness for next turn probably. Or maybe I just naturally draw a land and jam Ketramos, seems decent as well. Okay, my opponent's hand is Null Drifter, Emrakul, Bojuka Bog. Okay, they play Null Drifter, draw 2, and their Bojuka Bog just actually only helps me. It makes my Cosmogoyf big, lets me make my Ketramos into attacker. Here I naturally draw a land for a turn. This was great, so I can keep drawing cards with Ketramos, and seems like excellent overall situation. Next turn I can draw a bunch again with Ketramos. Opponent plays another Talisman of Impulse. I can go for Witch Enchanter next turn if I draw a land and maybe kill one of the Talismans. And opponent has Dismember. I don't really care. I have another Ketramos in hand. I can pay 3 life, immediately draw a bunch with a Relic on this turn. First, I make them exile a card, draw one, then crack a relic, draw two more. This is a lot of cards, Now my Ketramos can attack, and next turn, if they don't do something crazy, I can really just play Totsis, play Gadoktig, and potentially just completely lock my opponent. Okay, here they go for another Utopia Sprawl. I know they have Emrakul in hand, but they are still not close to casting it. Okay, they don't have any graveyard, and they need like a Rumble fast or something like that, which enables them to play their Emrakul. Is it Michael Spawn maybe kicked? No, it's even better. It's Kozilek Command, best card they could have at the moment. They go to exile my Ketramos, but next turn I have Totsis. I can lock their, can discard their Emrakul, and then I can play Gadoktig to lock their Kozilek commands or all these dusts or whatever. Okay, so here is that big turn. Okay, first I go for Totsis, and they have Emrakul and another Kozilek command as I suspected. So I go for what? Yeah, I wanted to go for Gadoktig, but my opponent went down to turn 10, so I had kill on this same turn by reanimating their Emrakul. That was a really cool kill, and got 13 damage with their Emrakul on this turn. Okay, so let's check out game 2. Match 2, sorry, not game 2. Okay, so match 2, again a one lander, but I have Cling to Dust, I have a Relic of Progenitus, so I can draw additional card, and in these situations sometimes I decide to just keep one lander. Okay, I start with Totsis, sorry, and yeah, so their hand is pretty good, but not that fast, so I think I want to discard. I can't kill their Emery, so I really have to discard Emery, or I could discard also Mox Ember to delay them playing Emery on turn 1, but even if they play it on turn 2, I still don't really have anything to deal with it, so I decide to take their Emery and yeah, pass the turn. Only one land in my hand, as I said, bit risky. Opponent has 2 rebukes, and yeah, plays their 2 0 mana artifacts. So I go for a Cling to Dust, see if they want to use rebuke on Cling. And yeah, opponent decides to rebuke this. This means I will have to wait for maybe another turn or two to get a land, but that is fine. My opponent's hand is not that fast, and I have stuff to deal with. I have stuff to deal with what they're doing at the moment, and I just need a few more lands. Okay, so I go for a relic. Next turn I can crack a relic, draw additional card if needed. Here my opponent finds Emery. So yeah, relic will be good here. I draw land naturally here, so I think I just want to... I can Prismatic Ending, maybe their Mox Ember, cut their 1 mana. Now they need like additional mana to get that Urza Saga token, but they decide to rebuke this, so this is good. I got rid of their rebuke. My opponent didn't make a construct on this turn, so it seemed like pretty solid. And I got a second land on time. I cracked the land before they get Saga ability, and now I have 1 mana to crack my relic. Opponent goes for Ether Spellbomb. In response, I crack a relic, remove the graveyards, and now if they tap out, I can maybe use the Solitude to exile Emery. Let's see what happens. Okay, they go for Pinnacle Emissary. This is interesting. They play another Pinnacle Emissary, so this is now a window here in which I can Solitude something. Yeah, a bunch of targets to Solitude here. I can Solitude, I think it's best to Solitude Emery, so yeah. Or just a Pinnacle Emissary. Yeah, that I think that works fine as well. So I go for Overlord of the Baelmerk and get Solitude back to my hand. Now I can choose between flickering my Overlord next turn or going for Solitude immediately. On Emry I decide that letting them untap with Emry is too much, and with Ether Spellbomb on the field, this basically means I will never be able to kill Emry again. So I decide to take their Emry. This way I cut them from their mana. They have only 2 mana here. They can't play their Emissary even. Okay, put Boggart Roller to the graveyard, draw Winch Enchanter for a turn. I can go for Emperor of the Bones. And I remove Solitude from the graveyard. I have 2 of the Solitudes there. And I decide to shock in the land, pay 3 life, and now I can instant speed, pay 2 mana and put Solitude on the field. That seems great. Okay, they go a Pitting Needle here. Maybe this was unnecessary, but yeah. I decided to play that Solitude, take their token in response, make my Emperor a 4/4 before they needle my Emperor. I'm 0 cards in hand, so there is a good chance they would name Emperor of the Bones. I would not get anything. This way I removed their token and make my Emperor a 4/4, and I got a Failure for a turn. Failure seems like such an excellent top deck here. Let's see if my opponent will tap out. And they will tap out, but it is Kappa Cannoneer, their best, probably like their best spell. And they play also Mox Opal, only 1 card in their hand. It would probably be better. But it doesn't seem like a great situation for me here. Okay, so I can at least take Solitude back. And yeah, sorry, they have Ether Spellbomb to put my Felia back into my hand. And Plunge into Darkness is cool, but I can't really use it next turn to get rid of Kappa Cannoneer. I need like instant solutions for Kappa, or I will just die. Okay, here it is, Tot Monitor, Kappa is a 7/7. If they draw another artifact, I'm dead. They don't have mana, but yeah, they play Totcast, and seems like they don't have it. So I survive on 1 life. And let's see if I can get out of this. If this was a white card, I would be able to do it. I would blink the Overlord, get the Solitude, and pitchcast Solitude to exile Kappa Cannoneer. But this way, I'm not able to do anything here. Even if I exile the Kappa here, they still got the kill with the Tot Monitor. So I got to do my thing, but it was too late. It was too late, so yeah. Opponent got the win here with Kappa. I board in the Wrath of the Skies, Tear Asunder. So again, I had to battle this matchup starting from 1 game down. I trim a couple of Overlords. This matchup is so fast. I need like answers. And Ketramos already gives me a lot of card advantage. So I trim 2 Felia, trim 2 Overlords. And yeah. This deck plays 24 lands, so I'm often confident in keeping 1 lands when I have a Surveil or way to draw additional card. Opponent goes for Pinnacle Emissary on turn 1, then plays Mox Opal, start making these tokens. I go for a Surveil and I find another Surveil land on top. My opponent only makes 2 tokens, that is okay for me. And I go for a Thoughtseize and keep another land on top, and I discard their Kappa Cannoneer. This was crucial. So I discard their Kappa Cannoneer and they were not able to play the Kappa, it would be hard, very hard to deal with. Okay, so I exile card from their yard, I can play Failure end of turn. They're pressuring me with these drone creatures, but I still have 8 life. Let's see what happens. I go for Ketramos, I pay more life, draw Prismatic Ending, take their Lava Spore Boots. That is important, so they can haste anything else on this turn. Okay, they go for Emery, and they play Pinnacle Emissary and pass a turn. Okay, so yeah, we can slow down a bit here. And now I'm on 3 life, that is not a lot of life, so I immediately crack the Relic to lose 2, draw 3. So I'm down on 1 life, and they have a bunch of stuff going on here. But I can now attack with Ketramos, gain 4 life, but this is a very close game. So first I go for Tear Asunder, exile their Emissary, which loses me another life. And now I can pitch cast Solitude. Solitude exiles their Emery and leaves them with 2 attackers. That is not enough for them to win still. I play the Relic and tapped Godless Shrine, and they have 3 damage here, but that is not enough for a kill. Next turn I can attack with Ketramos again and gain more life. Then I have Emperor of the Bones, and I can potentially completely just get back into the game. Okay, opponent goes for attack, again leaves me down on 1. Yeah, okay, so first I think I want to go for attack. If I use Emperor of the Bones ability or anything else, I'm going to die. So first what I need to do is gain 4 life, then I can do everything else. Okay, so I go for attack. My opponent is now down to 4. I'm go up to 5 life. And I have enough mana to play 2 creatures, or I can crack the Relic on their turn, use the Fatal Push as well. I play my Cosmogoyf, which is pretty big, and leave 3 mana open. My opponent goes for another Emery, tries to find something from their graveyard, but in response I can just crack the Relic. Yeah, and they concede, so that is a game. And let's check out game 3. Everything stays the same for game 3. I got there by going down to 1-2 times and then stabilizing and winning the game. It was pretty exciting. Let's check out game 3, sorry. So I go for a Thoughtseize, and I was again trying to discard their Kappa. Kappa is the biggest threat for them here. I take their Emery, leave them with Thoughtcast. I have ways to get rid of Tamio, or I can just play the Failure. Okay, opponent can uses Ether Spellbomb to bounce their Tamio back to their hand, and I decide in this situation I just want to Solitude their Tamio. This makes it harder for them to play this Thoughtcast, slows them down significantly. And yeah, I decide to play Emperor of the Bones. Now I can start eating their graveyard, taking important spells which they use with their Emery. And yeah, so they're having troubles, which is what I expected. They're having troubles getting their artifacts on the field. Yeah, they use Consign, that is okay, so I can go for the Emperor of the Bones attack, play Failure, and continue just attacking for, there is a lot of damage there. Okay, so Failure goes on the field. Now I can also put a Flicker Wisp, and that is a lot of damage on the field. Opponent will have to deal with that. Okay, so I take the card from the graveyard, and I can blink my Flicker Wisp. my Flicker Wisp will come back end step, and then I can take their land, which again makes it even harder for them to play something important on the next turn. Yeah, so here it is. Flicker Wisp end step, Flicker Wisp comes back. Yeah, Flicker Wisp comes back and takes their land. Opponent doesn't have anything to do, and they get their land back, but it's too late. So I can now just take a creature from the graveyard with Emperor of the Bones ability and make it into another attacker, which is enough for lethal. So I take Solitude from the graveyard. I take Solitude from the graveyard. I can pay Emperor of the Bones ability 2 times, so they can't prevent this. And yeah, I get Solitude on the field, and it is more than enough damage here. And I got the lethal, and that is the second win. Okay, so let's check out match 3. Okay, in match 3, I surveil on turn 1 and put land into graveyard. I can go for turn 2 Cosmogoyf or Overlord the Bailmerk. Let's see what my opponent takes here with Totsis. Okay, they go for Overlord, so it seems like I'm going to play Cosmogoyf. I have a Relic in my hand. This means I can go for turn 3 Relic plus another Cosmogoyf. This can potentially make my Cosmogoyf really large. And you don't see Orcish Bowmaster too often these days, but here it is, killing my 0-1 Cosmogoyf, unfortunately. Did not expect actually to see Orcish Bowmaster. So I played the Cosmogoyf as a 0-1, which I wouldn't do if I suspected they have it. Okay, but I had no idea what I'm playing against. I only saw like Totsis and nothing else. Okay, so here I have Prismatic Ending and another Relic. So I think I want to go for a Surveil first to maybe exile more cards from my yard, make my Cosmogoyf even bigger. Yeah, here I go for a Prismatic Ending. I think Bowmaster is a bigger threat against me here because I draw a lot of cards, and maybe it was better to just crack the Relic here. Yeah, I think so. So I crack the Relic here, make my Cosmogoyf really large, 7-8. That is one big attacker on turn 4, and I start attacking with Cosmogoyf. They have to chump this. They use their Orc, and they only have Sorin at the moment. But yeah, Sorin can do a lot of damage. Here is my opponent with Fatal Push and does the Extort ability, attacks for 1 with Sorin and passes the turn. But already it's turn 5, I have 5 mana, my opponent is stuck with 2, and now, yeah, the Solitude is a pretty decent threat against them. It's hard to kill with Fatal Push. It attacks for 3, gains me life. Yeah, so they decided, actually they lost two cards here to get rid of my Solitude. Again, I crack the Relic, exile, graveyards, and yeah, so Overlord the Bailmerk, great top deck here. I can go for a Phalia end step, then I can actually just play Overlord for 5 mana. Seems probably like the best thing to do here. Here is opponent with Emperor of the Bones and they tap out, so now I play Phalia and I can just undisturbedly. Okay, here is also Plunge into Darkness. I don't... I suspected them maybe having the spell which exiles 2 black cards and deals 4 damage, but I went for Impending Cost anyway. And I think that this was good because I got the Ketramos, and Ketramos is also such a sweet threat here against them. It can draw me a bunch of cards, and yeah, so if Phalia attacks here, it's basically game over. But opponent has the Soul Spike, kills my Phalia, and yeah, this way They also top decked another land and Necro Dominance as their last card. With 0 cards in their hand, my opponent got Necro Dominance on the field, and they have bunch of life, which means they can completely get back into this game, draw a bunch, and now they are on 18 life. But my Ketramos is indestructible, they can kill it with Soul Spike. I can go for Plunge into Darkness, pay also some life, and not if they Soul Spike me indefinitely, but I can pay some life and find maybe stuff that draws me more cards. Okay, so this is third Soul Spike, that is a lot of cards. Okay, so I can't really use Plunge into Darkness for a lot of life, but I can cast it for 3. I can probably pay 3 life here and stay down on 5. Hopefully find solution for this Emperor of the Bones or something better. Okay, so I go for Plunge into Darkness, and Plunge into Darkness showed like a pretty good card selection spell, and also at the same time it's enabler, but it's such an excellent card selection. It allows you to dig so many cards for the stuff you need, and like in this situation it finds me Overlord, which was amazing. And I'm now on 5. They only have 1 Soul Spike left in their deck, so it won't be easy for them to find a kill here. And now I got Overlord on the field, I got Ketramos on the field, a lot of stuff here. Okay, so here it is. Overlord brings back another white card to my hand, so I can Solitude when I want to take their Emperor of the Bones or their something better. Okay, opponent goes for this ability, exiles Ketramos, and I decide to just let them do this. I decide to let them do this, and they also had like another 2 mana. They could use just Emperor of the Bones ability again. And my opponent kills my Flicker Wisp, so I can't block the Ketramos. And so now I was forced to Solitude the Ketramos, but I think this is really not the big. This is not a big deal. I can just get the Solitude back again next turn. I didn't lose much here, so I can get the Solitude back. They use their Emperor of the Bones already. And I can kill the Orcish Bowmaster, continue gaining life, continue... yeah, so now they can try to get their Soul Spike because I went down on 4 life. They can try to get the 4th Soul Spike to find a kill. But this is a bit risky. They went down to 1, and if they did not find that Soul Spike, I would be able to get the kill quite easily here. Maybe draw a few cards, kill their blocker, and hit them with 1 attacker for lethal. So that was a bit risky, but I went down to 4, and opponent finds their 4th Soul Spike to get the win. So again I had to win the match with losing first game, so come back and win the remaining 2 games. Okay, I trim 1 failure. In this matchup I only wanted to bring in, I think, Tira Sanders, and I removed 1 failure, 1 plunge, and that was it. Nothing crazy, just a decent hand. Okay, so I start with a Relic of Progenitus on turn 1. Play the Relic, pass a turn. My opponent plays Thoughtseize, and yeah, let's see what they take. They take Emperor, that's okay. Okay, I got the Thoughtseize as well, that's pretty good. Against them, I was able to take the Necro Dominance. Okay, so Orcish Bowmaster kills my Flicker Wisp. So there's no point in just casting Flicker Wisp. So I think I'm going to wait with my Flicker Wisp until I find Overlord so I can scam it. Okay, I find a Plunge into Darkness. This is really good spell. It was just one. Okay, I go for a Surveil first. I have Ketramos on top, and Ketramos is really close to attacking here already. So when I saw Ketramos on top, I decided not to play anything. Just go for a Ketramos this turn and pass a turn. Okay, so Ketramos is very close to attacking here, and I can just find my basic. I know my opponent has Orcish Bowmaster, but they did not play it for some reason, I don't know. Okay, so I go for a Plunge into Darkness, pay 3 life, get a Solitude and pass a turn. They didn't play because they had Toxic Deluge. And okay, so they went for Emperor of the Bones and take my Ketramos from the graveyard, and that was the reason why they did not play the Bowmaster. Now they failed to profane my Solitude, but now I can just hard cast the Overlord, get the Solitude back, and now I'm in such a big advantage. All they have at the moment is Bowmaster in their hand. They play it and they don't have anything else. So at this point, for them, it's Necro Dominance or bust. I go for Ketramos now. I have to kill the Bowmaster. Okay, so I exile. I go for attack first. Get back another Solitude to my hand. And yeah, opponent concedes, so it's time for... It was a quick win in game 2, so let's check out game 3. Tyrisunder is pretty good against them, because it can instant speed kill their Necrodominance, and it can be complete blowout. Okay, so... in this game, I had the combo, so I could go potentially like a turn 2 Cosmogoyf, turn 3 Plunge into Darkness, but I'm playing against a monocolor deck that doesn't lose too much life on fetching, and they have so much removal that I felt like there is really no point in trying to combo. This was also the reason why I trimmed one Plunge into Darkness post board. And I take their land. It ended up being a good idea. So they were stuck on one land because I take their Fell the Profane on turn 1. I go for a basic, play my Cosmogoyf. They don't have Orcish Bowmaster in hand this time, so they can't Bowmaster it. But they use Force of Despair. That was good, and now I can... I decided to put Boggart Roller on the field. Maybe it was better to take my graveyard, but yeah, I decided to go for their graveyard. Yeah, now with Cosmogoyf, maybe it seems like a better idea. It was a better idea to go for my graveyard, but I counted like I have Plunge into Darkness. So I guess it's okay to just wait until I can go for that. Okay, so I decided to go for Cosmogoyf this turn. And they play Profane Tutor, they have Soul Spike in their hand. And now, yeah, now I can Plunge into Darkness and make my Goyf really big. Okay, so I go for a Plunge. I can pay as many life as I like. I feared their Soul Spike, so I did not want to go too low. I can't go too low. I have to be wary of their Profane Tutor they have on suspend and the Soul Spike they have in their hand. Okay, so here it is, Fatal Push, and Fatal Push was a card I was looking for because it cleared the way for my Cosmogoyf. If they did not have Soul Spike in their hand, I could try to go for lethal immediately. I could go down to 1 life and the fatal push their creature is still, I would still miss